Eastern nominee for Outstanding Canadian Honors. He'll be going up against a man we saw last night at BC Place Stadium, Ray Elgard of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Osbaldiston last night also saw his record for most points in a season tied at 233 by David Ridgway. Ken Haley will take this kickoff for Winnipeg, finding a bit of a seam. Haley brings it out to the 34-yard line. This is a new role for Ken Haley. Usually he operates on special teams, but as a tackler.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see him sitting back there, but he's a pretty good kickoff return. He's got a pretty good field position to start with, but this is the guy that has to play well. Against Hamilton, he's hit about 64% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 3 intercepted, but the key is they were short passes, and he's got to finish the drives, and that we saw an example of that last night. Burgess has to try to get him in the end zone.
A 26-yard return by Haley gives the Bombers 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Burgess fakes, gives the ball to Robert Mims, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League, and Mims is upset right at the line of scrimmage by Daryl Corbin.
They need a little bit of work from Daryl Corbin from that linebacker position. For some reason, they've moved Mark Dennis, a rookie, into the middle and moves Corbin outside, but he's a very physical linebacker, and with Mims with 30% of the offense of the Bombers, you can expect that man, Daryl Corbin, to be paying attention to wherever Mims happens to line up.
Coming into this game, Mims had run for 1,266 yards. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage at 2nd and 11. Pass over the middle for Lee Hull, and Hull does not make the catch. He comes up with the football, but it obviously bounced in front of him. Tom Burgess looking upfield, and Lee Hull mildly protests to the official, but it definitely appeared as though that ball bounced, and perhaps we can make an accurate assessment on the replay.
Yeah, pretty close. Hull's arm is on the ground itself, so when the ball comes into the arm, the ball is going to hit the ground. You could not see both hands underneath. That's a good call by the official.
Wally Zatilny is the lone man back to field this Bob Cameron punt. As we have often said, when the wind is blowing, there's no one you'd sooner have kicking the ball for you than Bob Cameron. Zatilny takes it at the 44-yard line, and he is downed immediately by Tyrone Jones. Jones was downfield very quickly. And this is an area where the Bombers hope to excel in this game this afternoon and in the Eastern Final on those special teams. A 33-yard kick by Bob Cameron.
Well, it means field position, special teams, regardless of which side you're looking at. But Mike Kerrigan, 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions against Winnipeg, 5 of them to Rod Hill. And as I said earlier, he can't worry about that. That's over and done. All he's got to do is play a good game today.
Kerrigan's pass is caught, and immediately the newcomer, Vaughn, is decked right at the line of scrimmage. He came out of Mesa State. Vaughn spent some time playing semi-pro football in Colorado Springs and in Oklahoma, and he was added to the roster as a result of a very unusual incident involving Derek McAdoo, who injured his foot while spiking the ball in the end zone. 2nd and 8. It was intended for Rocky DiPietro. It looked as though he may have been held up at the line of scrimmage by Darrell Sampson.
Well, we saw the full-out blitz. This is what they're going to try to do to Kerrigan, and where DiPietro can be the factor today. With his experience, we know he's the all-time leading pass receiver, but with his experience, if they try to blitz, that middle will open up, and Darrell Sampson's going to have to stop him from getting in there. And we saw right away, the blitz came. He tried to get in there. Kerrigan laid it up, but Sampson does a good job. Kept him from getting there, but that's where his experience will be a factor today.
Excellent kick by Osbaldiston. Eric Streeter goes way back to the 5-yard line to pull it in, and then he's dumped as he reaches up to the 18-yard line. 12:24 is the time remaining in the opening quarter. 59-yard. Of the two coaches, Mike Riley is certainly the more experienced. David Beckman took over late in the season when Al Bruno was fired as the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But he's done a pretty good job since taking over. Rick House makes the catch, picks up some additional yardage, fumbles the football. Hamilton has got it. Stephan Jordan comes up with that football as Rick House has it popped away as he was striving for extra yardage, trying to get a first down.
This is a pattern a lot of coaches call a rub, where the wide receiver comes in and kind of rubs off the defensive back, then goes back to the corner. And the idea is to get this man, the slot back, Rick House, open in the flat. He was, but as you say, he needed an extra step for the 1st and 10. He tried to get it, and sometimes you fumble when you do that, and it's pretty good field position for Hamilton right now.
I think I may have heard a loud groan from Ottawa on that play by Rick House. Same type of play they were applauding last week when House had some difficulties hanging on to the football in Ottawa territory.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? You go out and beat the heck out of one another, and the next week you cheer for them.
Vaseline on the jersey of Stan Mikkolas. Is that what they are checking for, perhaps? That was a bit of a problem a few years ago with many players greasing up prior to a game, preventing offensive linemen from getting a grip on them.
What happens is that defensive linemen put it on there. They feel offensive linemen grab them with their hands. If they put that Vaseline and stuff on, it slips off. They can't grab them, and that's what the argument is, I think.
They're trying to remove some of the Vaseline off the jersey of Stan Mikkolas with towels, but it looks as though they're going to have to go get another uniform for the veteran nose guard of the Blue Bombers, and as a result, Jeff Prunen comes into the middle. Vaughn, the ball carrier, to the 25-yard line.
Talking to the Ticat coaches today, and specifically Garney Henley before the game, what are they going to try to do? Try to run the toss to Vaughn. They don't feel he's a great inside runner, but from the tackle out, that's where he likes to run. Try to run him either way, short side of the field, wide side of the field. That time, picked up 6 yards.
Here comes that new jersey for Stan Mikkolas. Pass was intended for Winfield. It was a little high. He was well covered by Les Brown, so it will be 3rd and 5, and Paul Osbaldiston will be coming into the ball game to attempt a field goal. There you see the jersey being changed, and obviously it was Vaseline on the jersey of Stan Mikkolas that was causing the concern and resulted in him being sent off the field.
That's an interesting matchup out there today when you really think about it. Champion and Winfield are the key guys for Hamilton on side, and Hill and Brown, the outstanding corners that they are. So that'll be an interesting matchup. I think the inside people may determine the outcome of this game today.
Paul Osbaldiston with the field goal attempt. It is good from 32 yards away, and the Hamilton Ticats draw first blood 4 minutes into the opening quarter of this very key battle for Hamilton if they hope to wrest 3rd place away from the Ottawa Rough Riders. So Stan Mikkolas is now going to be wearing 78 without his name on the back of the uniform. With that field goal, Paul Osbaldiston now reaches 200 points for the 2nd straight year.
Well, we talked about that last night, of all the point totals that the people are accumulating in 1989 and 90, how the game has changed.
Ball fumbled again by Winnipeg, and who's got it? It's still loose, and Hamilton comes up with it again.
Last night, Don, we saw turnovers, 3 in a row early by Saskatchewan that they never recovered and could come back and win. Don't dig yourself a hole early, and that's what Mike Riley has to be concerned with. Just a missed handoff between Burgess and Mims. Watch it. He's a little bit far away. Burgess tries to reach, and when you reach, you hit the hip, and when you hit the hip, you can't grab it. Burgess can't get it. It's going to be loose again before the Ticats get it, but again, great field position.
Peter Giftopoulos finally came up with the ball. It looked as though Thomas was going to get that football. And then Daryl Corbin came in. It may have been Corbin who actually came up with it, not Giftopoulos. But at any rate, the Hamilton Ticats have the football again deep in Winnipeg territory. 1st and 10 at the Bomber 31-yard line. Kerrigan's pass is complete to Champion. Champion gets away from Rod Hill and is forced out of bounds by Randolph, but not before he gets to the 7-yard line.
You see the pressure defense of Winnipeg. If you look on the replay, you'll see number 29, Dave Bovell, up very, very close to the line of scrimmage. In fact, he came on a blitz, but you just didn't get to see him. Kerrigan sees that. He's a veteran quarterback, one-on-one coverage. You have to give champion room. You give him room, you hit him quick, and then you miss the tackle and you get big plays. And that's what they've done. And now they got things going their way if he can put it in the end zone.
First and goal for the Ticats from the 7-yard line. Kerrigan throws to the corner intended for Champion. It's incomplete, and Champion had some difficulties getting off the line of scrimmage, and that may be what he is suggesting to the official over on the far side of the field.
See, he wants an interference call, but Rod Hill lines up on his inside shoulder. Now, if Tony Champion wants to break it out, he comes into Hill, pushes him, and then he breaks out. So, I mean, Hill has the same argument. You know, you're entitled to that ground, and if one pushes and you push back, that's incidental contact, and you can't call it.
Second and goal from the 7. The Ticats leading by a score of 3-0. Penalty flag, movement at the line of scrimmage. Pass knocked down. Rod Hill was defending against Tony Champion again.
We're going to get a procedure call, I believe, against Hamilton, a slot back on this side of the field. I think it was DiPietro. He jumped the count, got out too early.
And Winnipeg is going to decline the penalty. Rod Hill did a good job on consecutive plays against Tony Champion.
Well, you think about the two corners of Winnipeg. They're outstanding one-on-one people, covering those receivers with no help. And, you know, Hill had some success last time, and quarterbacks like to try to get even with a guy. You know, I mean, he wins one game, but he doesn't win the war. We'll give him a battle, you know, so he goes after him. But as you say, 2 straight plays, he's made the defensive play that's counted.
Osbaldiston will be attempting a 14-yard field goal. And it is good as the Hamilton Ticats.
It's a player with Vaseline on his sweater. In fact, every other Winnipeg defensive lineman has it on their sweater as well. Many of them have tried to wipe off the excess since Mikowas was caught. But, Don, I can tell you this, the Bombers aren't the only team in the league to use Vaseline on their sweaters. I've seen it on many CFL jerseys.
He's making excuses, isn't he?
Well, of course,
That's
Scott
cheap.
has done a personal inspection of all jerseys in the CFL.
I think he has. He's close enough.
Burgess over the middle to Robert Mims. He gets away from Giftopoulos and carries up to the 50-yard line. A first down for Winnipeg, and that time they held on to the football.
And this is what I think we're going to have to see. Burgess is going to have to be very, very patient. Here we see it. He comes back, drop back in your area. Now, react on the back when he comes out, but look at Mims put the move on him. He's going to have to catch the football short and then make these yards on his own. Burgess is not going to be able to force this ball in against Hamilton. They're going to play a lot of zone.
First and 10 from the 50-yard line. The handoff to Robert Mims for a gain of about 4 yards. He lost the football, but the whistle had gone. Mike Riley, in our conversation with him prior to the game, was upset with the performance of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the 2 losses to Ottawa, mainly because of the way the Winnipeg team turned the ball over. 3 times inside the 10-yard line last week in Ottawa, they lost the football, and he must have been wondering what was happening on the first 2 offensive series when they dropped the football here.
Yeah, when he's talking about inside that 10-yard line, you know, right away you think interception or something. They turn it over by fumbles. You know, normally if 1 is too many, but to fumble 3 times inside the 10, not even get a chance to kick field goals, and that takes points away from you, and they come right out here today and take up where they left off.
Matt Pierce into the ball game, replacing Robert Mims, who must go out for 3 plays. Lee Hall was the target. It's intercepted, picked off by Gary Wilkerson.
He got the man coverage that he wanted. He had the right pattern call, but you watch the pressure that Tom Burgess is under. Watch him. He needs a little bit of time. Just as he throws the football, he gets hit, so you can't step and follow through. But Wilkerson cuts right in front and makes a great interception. There it is. You don't get to step and throw the football. Good hit.
Dan Sellers was applying pressure along with Tim Lorenz. So the Ticats, with the interception, take over first and 10 at their own 45-yard line. 7:33 is the time remaining in the opening quarter. Hamilton leads 6-0. Juan takes the pitch. There are a couple of penalty flags. This will probably be holding against the Hamilton Ticats.
Well, you saw 3 of the players automatically first show the holding sign, and now the referee shows it. They came out in a hurry.
George Black is the referee today, and he'll tell us what the penalty was.
Holding Hamilton number 1. First down repeated.
The holding call against Winfield. Taking the ball back to the 35-yard line. It is a repeat of the first down, but now with 20 yards to go. Lee Knight into the ball game for Richard Estelle. Pass over the middle to DiPietro, and he has about 18 yards.
Rocky getting his chance to play. 11 weeks he's been out since he got hurt against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Comes back in, the biggest game of the season. It's nice to have all your guns loaded, and watch the concentration. Throws it in, knows Bavell's in the position to put the good hit on him. Never bothered him before. He's caught a lot of passes in the middle, so no reason to think he dropped that one.
CFL's all-time leading receiver. Just 11 catches this year. The pitch to Vaughn, and he'll get the first down to the Winnipeg 50-yard line.
Turned that corner very well, too. When he turned upfield, he had 2 white jerseys, one of them being Jason Riley, number 58, leading him. But Rod Hill was unblocked. If he could have stepped out of that tackle, he had a nice gain in front. Hill makes the play for them.
First and 10, Hamilton. The ball is at the Winnipeg 50-yard line with 6:12 remaining in this opening quarter. Hamilton in front on a pair of Paul Osbaldiston field goals. Vaughn was the intended receiver. Number 24 of Winnipeg, Ken Haley, was closing on him and arrived at the same instant as the football.
In fact, I think the ball hit Haley. The ball was thrown behind Vaughn, but Haley, that's his man, so he's got to try to arrive when that ball does, as you say, to hit him. But let's watch and see who the ball actually hits. Hit off the leg of Ken Haley if he'd have been, looking for the football. But, hey, when you got a man to cover, you don't worry about the ball until you get him covered.
I think Haley had designs on putting a lick on Vaughn had he caught that football. Second and 10. Winfield can't hang on. He was open, but could not hang on to the Mike Kerrigan throw, so the Hamilton Ticats send out the punting unit.
You can see the audible. Kerrigan called it just down, slant to the post. They had that pressure defense, no safety in the middle. Bavell's out of there again. If Winfield catches that ball, and he should have, he's gone because there's nobody back there to stop him. Kerrigan read it right, threw it right. Winfield didn't hang on.
This will be a field goal attempt by Paul Osbaldiston of 57 yards. He has the wind at his back. 5:33 is the time remaining in this first quarter. And Osbaldiston's kick is long enough. It's good. A 57-yarder as career longest field goal for Paul Osbaldiston, 57 yards, and the longest in the league this year. The league record, 60 yards. Dave Ridgway against Winnipeg on September 6th, 1987. Robert Mims, the ball carrier, and he is up to the 46 for a Winnipeg first down.
Well, that's a good run of Mims. He got to the outside, and he had the linebacker sitting out there waiting on him to come outside. He give him that step, and then watch him split it. All right, here he comes outside. Now we'll see him get outside of Sellers. There's the linebacker, Jordan, waiting on him. Good block. He just splits him, gets that head and shoulder headed upfield, and picks up the first down.
First and 10, the ball at the 46-yard line. Robert Mims, fighting for additional yardage, will get about 8 before being brought down by Peter Giftopoulos.
In this defense that Hamilton's playing, they're dropping everybody out of there. They're going to force him to throw the ball to Mims underneath and then hope that those linebackers can rally around, get him cornered, and knock him down. But he got 8 yards that time, so as we say, Burgess has to be patient.
4:17 remaining in the opening quarter. 3 turnovers by Winnipeg have resulted in Hamilton points. 3 field goals by Paul Osbaldiston. Robert Mims keeps the drive alive. He was stumbling, but still managed to get a first down before being brought down. Dan Sellers was rather slow in getting back to his feet. He will limp back to the huddle. Will he stay in or will he go out? He's going to be going out as Mark Napier-Kowski comes into the ball. Well, we say hello to all you satellite dish owners who are watching the football game this afternoon, wherever you may be. Tom Burgess is looking to get that first down as he came running out of there, and Peter Giftopoulos was tracking him all the way.
Good job by Burgess running, but even a better job and a smarter job by Eric Streeter. He was going to come back and try to help block, but if he did, he would have clipped him, and at the last second, he realized and pulled up. Burgess gets close enough for the measurement, but if he'd have thrown that block, they'd have lost it. So that's the heads-up play you have to make.
Second and short for Winnipeg. For those of you who were watching our game last night between BC and Saskatchewan, you realize this is not an automatic play. Twice in the first quarter, the Saskatchewan Rough Riders failed on a third down gamble.
The defense for the BC Lions was very impressive last night, especially short yardage. You know, offensive line in Saskatchewan is pretty strong. Yet that Alondra Johnson moving into the middle linebacker position made a couple great plays in short yardage. And so right now, this gets to be interesting.
Second and inches for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Tom Burgess will keep. And it looks as though he should have the first down, depending upon where they spot it. But it appeared as though his forward progress provided Winnipeg with a first down. And that's the signal from referee George Block.
I'll say it's a good thing he only needed inches, because he didn't get too much.
They are retaping the left ankle of Dan Sellers. Mark Napier-Kowski
Go again.
playing that defensive end spot for Hamilton in the absence of Sellers.
Every time he's gotten healthy to play, he's gotten re-injured. That's what he's saying. Here we go again.
First and 10 Winnipeg, the ball at the 42. Burgess with time, drills it in to Streeter, and Streeter appeared to have a first down before he was driven back at the 30.
Thing you have to like about it, when Burgess sprints to his left, that gives Streeter a little bit of extra time to take Thomas deep and then make that definite comeback to the ball move. And when you do that, you get separation and enable you to catch it and take the hit.
First and 10 Winnipeg, the ball at the Hamilton 30-yard line. The Ticats leading 9-0 on 3 Paul Osbaldiston field goals. 1:48 is the time remaining in the opening quarter. Over the middle, and first down for Winnipeg. On the receiving end of the throw, Ken Winey back in the Winnipeg lineup after being out of the lineup for a spell as the result of injuries. Perry Tuttle and James Murphy are both out this afternoon for Winnipeg. Murphy for the season.
You hear that automatic call. They audible against this particular defense. They want that slot back, in this case Winey, to go into the middle, and they send Hull down the sidelines. I think they were both open, but he took the safe one.
First and 10. Low throw intended for Warren Hudson.
Again, a little bit of pressure on Burgess causing him to throw it short, and we saw that statistic. 48% of the time inside that 25, they come away with touchdowns, and that's below the league average. So first down, they had a chance to get it down close. Now they've got it constrained. Here comes the pressure, a little bit of play action. Grover Covington from the left. He had time to throw it. Pressure wasn't too bad. He just underthrew it.
Those statistics on scoring efficiency took a beating last week in Ottawa when they fumbled the ball 3 times inside the 10.
Yeah, that's probably why they drop so much, because, you know, you're not down there that many times. When you're there, you try to get it in there.
Burgess will try and put it in. He does to Eric Streeter. Good drive by Winnipeg culminates in this touchdown throw. Burgess to Eric Streeter.
Eric Streeter's got an excellent touchdown ratio to catch against Hamilton. Coming into the game, he had 5 catches, and 3 of them were for touchdowns. Gets another touchdown right here in the first quarter, so he's keeping it up that ratio pretty high.
Trevor Kennard adds the point after. With
just the way you look at the game, but this touchdown, Burgess to Streeter, gets them 7 points. Winnipeg turns that ball over 3 times. Hamilton comes away with 9 points. You're happy. But if they make it 21 points, it's a whole different ball game. Good time to throw. Let him come back and catch it. They get 7 points and a good drive. They drove the ball down the field, put it in the end zone, and that'll make Mike Riley happy. But when you get 3 turnovers, you'd like to have a little more than 9 points.
This is far from the receiving core that Winnipeg started the season with. Lee Hull, Ken Winey, Eric Streeter, and Rick House are in there. James Murphy and Perry Tuttle, as we mentioned, are absent. Wally Zatilny takes the ball at the 25-yard line on this kickoff return. Instant field position as he brings it out to the 51. To talk about injuries, the Hamilton Tiger Cats had Wally Zatilny out of there for a long spell, about 6 games.
A very serious hamstring pull that he got trying to catch a pass for a touchdown. Wally Zatilny on one side and brother Steve on the other. Maybe they'll get to hit one another, because I believe Wally returns and Steve covers. But that'd be a heck of a rivalry.
1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Kerrigan going deep for Knight, incomplete. Darrell Sampson was defending with help from safety David Bodell. Sampson has developed into a pretty good defensive back.
Well, the thing with him, he comes into the Canadian Football League, number 2 draft choice for Winnipeg, and he earns a spot. Now, he doesn't know how to play that position, but what I've noticed with him is that when he is back in the middle now, he knows to stay back there. Early in the year, he was gambling. Now, when he's responsible, he's staying back there. He's going to get better and better.
2nd and 10 from the 50-yard line. This could be the final play of the quarter. It was intended for DiPietro. Time has expired on the scoreboard clock. Kick that last play of the first quarter. Osbaldiston's kick bounces away from Lee Hull. He has to chase back to the 18-yard line, picks it up there and draws a no-yards flag. Peter Buchanan was in too close. So it was an alert play by Lee Hull after failing to catch Paul Osbaldiston punt initially. Leo Cahill, the former coach and general manager of the Toronto Argonauts, when he worked with us, always talked about a quick kick.
And that was the ideal place.
No yards. Hamilton number 41. 1st down, Winnipeg.
Dave Beckman talked about using that quick kick, and you got the last play of the quarter with the win, 2nd and 10. Would have been a great place.
Always a key statistic. 2nd from the bottom on the right-hand side.
Maybe the most important, turnovers. Well, they're killers.
1st and 10, Winnipeg. Throwing deep for Lee Hull. Incomplete. Good job by Gary Wilkerson in defending against Lee Hull. Hull got a hand on that ball, but he could not haul it in.
And a good job by Lee Hull. That was an excellent route. He goes down the field about 12 yards and starts to the post. When Wilkerson comes in to cover him, he leaps outside of him and goes. The problem with it, Burgess has to throw it so early in order to throw it far enough that Hull had to wait on it, and that allows Wilkerson to get that inside position. Good effort, though, both ways. Good defense, good offense. That's a long throw to make.
2nd and 10, Winnipeg. Honors at their own 33-yard line. Burgess throwing the screen to Warren Hudson. He won't get a 1st down. Darrell Corbin came over to make the tackle.
Had the ideal situation for it, too. Hamilton had rotated their defense to the wide side of the field. They run a game inside with the lineman, and there was a big hole to Hudson. They just couldn't get enough blocking to get him downfield. They only got 7 yards with it.
It almost seems like Bob Cameron and Hank Olisic have been kicking footballs in the CFL forever.
Yeah, Bob Cameron, we come out here all the time, and he keeps talking about how he's one of the older players. Heck, he should keep kicking forever. He kicks so well out here in this wind.
There's another example of how well he kicks in the wind. Wally Zatilny waits for it, and Wally Zatilny got up to the 27-yard line before being... They felt that he was a little overweight. Going into training camp this year, he shed some of those excess pounds and has played very well.
And if you think back, where was it last year when he did come from Ottawa, he didn't get to play much because of that. So I think he learned his lesson, came into camp ready to go, and as a result, had a good year for the Bombers.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. The handoff to Vaughn, and Vaughn is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Paul Randolph is there to make the tackle. And assessing Michael Vaughn, Coach Beckman said he has excellent hands. He's a big kid. He's not a darter, but he's a smooth runner.
Well, we don't know much about him. We have to take this. I mean, it would go along, really, with what Beckman's saying.
2nd and 8. Winfield on the receiving end of the throw, and despite being belted by Tyrone Jones, he was able to hang on.
Again, you heard Kerrigan call the audible. They showed that pressure defense. When he called it, DiPietro went in motion to try to get to where he wanted to be. He didn't make it. Winfield does make the catch. That's a good catch, good coverage by Brown, but Winfield got it and pulled it down, but there's no one in the middle if he ever breaks that tackle.
1st and 10. There's the toss to Vaughn. Vaughn cuts back inside and picks up about 3, maybe 4 yards.
Ticats themselves have a hard time running the football at the best of times, coming in only averaging 67 yards a game, lowest in the league at the rushing game, and Bombers very strong against the run. But I'll say this much, they're getting about 4 every time they do run it, so they're working on it, and you need it at this time of year.
Winnipeg defensively trying to give Kerrigan a lot of different looks today. Kerrigan throws to Lee Knight. He's going to be very close to a 1st down, depending on the spot. Stopped by Ken Haley.
Bombers show blitz to his mother and dad, Evelyn and John, their 34th wedding anniversary. He wanted to be sure to get that in. See, that's the Pavel, the safety. He comes on a blitz, you expect man coverage, but the Bombers dropped into a zone. So Knight just has to find a hole to give Kerrigan somewhere to throw it, because if he throws outside, they intercept it.
Jason Riley did a pretty good job of picking up that blitz by the safety Pavel.
Well, and, you know, Pavel's so physical that a quarterback is always happy when a big lineman will knock that safety man down, because he's got about a 12-yard run at you.
It's 3rd and about a foot. Kerrigan will keep and will dive forward for that 1st down. So the Ticats pick up the 1st down on the 3rd down gamble. The ball about a yard shy of midfield. Mike Riley has to be somewhat relieved, I'm sure, to come out of that opening quarter trailing by just 2 points after watching his team fumble it twice deep in their own territory and lose it on a 3rd occasion as a result of an interception.
Yeah, you kind of breathe the big sigh of relief when you come out with 9 points, but you just think how bad it could have been.
Kerrigan for Winfield, and it's way over his head. Incomplete.
That time they were in very close, tight man coverage with Dave Bavell sitting deep. He sits deep that way. If he does get by Rod Hill, Bavell will try to help him. But, you know, Rod Hill and Les Brown are excellent at that. They sit in there and they take them on, and they have the confidence, and that's the key to playing on the corner.
It's 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 53. This time Champion lines up right, Winfield left. Offside, and way offside was Lee Knight. The pass intended for Champion, but Knight was a good 2 strides across the line of scrimmage prior to the ball being snapped. Tony Champion is still down. Now, earlier in the week, they thought he had a serious bout of the flu, but apparently it was later diagnosed as a gallbladder infection.
Yeah.
Hull and Streeter are back for this Paul Osbaldiston punt. That's a good kick into the wind. Streeter takes it at the 15-yard line. Penalty flag. Peter Buchanan was decked from behind by Les Brown, resulting in the piece of yellow nylon hitting the artificial turf. Les Brown drew the initial penalty call, unnecessary roughness, clipping call against Peter Buchanan, and then there was an unnecessary roughness call against Kent Herrera of Hamilton. So it's 1st and 10. The ball is at the 28-yard line. Burgess looking for Rick House, incomplete. He collided with Stefan Jordan, and House is protesting that he was unable to get to that football because of the collision with Stefan Jordan, but the official did not see it that way.
I'd question the call. When the ref, the only thing I can figure he's ruling is that the ball was uncatchable because House had to jump for it. But, boy, that's hard to do when you're 20 yards downfield. You saw House was a little bit upset. He thinks he had a shot at it. But he didn't get to finish his job because when he went up in the air, he was shoved, and that's what he was upset about.
Draw play with Robert Mims. 1st down, Winnipeg, up to the 41.
Well, I'll tell you, nothing better for a quarterback when you can go in a 2nd and 10 situation and have the confidence that that offensive line will get that running back like Robert Mims sprung into the secondary and get a first down running. Most teams, 2nd and 10, have to throw it. Well, that's a lot of confidence in an offensive line. He went up in there right behind Rhoda Huskers and Molly. They did a great job.
Robert Mims responsible for almost 30% of Winnipeg's offense this year.
Hey, Rick, get outside, John.
Streeter was the man that Burgess was looking for over on the sidelines. It was well over his head.
Wisely thrown over his head. When Burgess ran out of there and sprints out to that out, and you break it and you don't get any separation from the defensive back, the quarterback has nowhere to throw it, so he wisely threw it over into the Hamilton bench.
We asked Coach Mike Riley whether he would go all the way today with Burgess. He said he wanted to get Burgess into a good rhythm today prior to the playoffs, so he would go with him as long as he felt it was necessary.
Well, you know, as he said also, he's the guy who's going to carry him in the playoffs. He has got to get sharp because he's going to get 2 weeks of rest after this.
This was almost intercepted. Ken Winey was the intended receiver. Sonny Gordon, who was playing that safety position for Hamilton, got his hands on it but couldn't haul it in. But that throw was nowhere close to Ken Winey.
Well, that's all you can ask out of the zone defense. They have a receiver hooked in the middle, and then Winey comes in behind it. If you get back there, you force that quarterback to throw it over and down, and sometimes you just can't do it. He overthrew Winey, almost hit Sonny Gordon for the interception.
Cameron's third down kick, fielded by Zatilny at the 26-yard line. And Zatilny is buried under it. 9-7, the Hamilton Ticats lead the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 7:43 the time remaining in the first half. All the scoring so far in the open was Baldiston. The Winnipeg touchdown by Eric Streeter, converted by Trevor Kenner. First and 10 for the Ticats from their own 34-yard line. The toss to Michael Vaughn. Tried to get outside. And Greg Battle was one of several Blue Bombers in to make the tackle.
Came out of the huddle quick, get lined up in a hurry, and try to wall that inside off. What they're going to try to get outside and then turn in before they get to the corner. Make that corner, make the tackle. You know, corners are pass coverers. They're not great tacklers. So if you're going to leave somebody free, that's the guy to do it with.
2nd and 6. Kerrigan is intercepted by who else but Rod Hill. Kerrigan looks over and said, not him again.
Yeah, we talk about confidence, but you have to have confidence to do what Rod Hill did here. As Champion went down the field and started to the inside, he read curl route or a turn in, a hook, whatever you want to call it, and immediately went to the cutoff position. Watch, he cuts right in front of the receiver. He ran the pattern better than Tony Champion did, so he should make the reception.
On September 9th, Rod Hill intercepted Mike Kerrigan 5 times. He now has 12 for the season. Half of those interceptions against the Hamilton Ticats, Mike Kerrigan. This pass to Ken Winey for the touchdown, but there was a penalty flag.
Too long.
A time count violation against Winnipeg. The whistle had gone before the ball was thrown.
Time count violation, Winnipeg number 13.
That official just stands back there and watches that clock, and when it hits 0, he throws the flag, and caught Burgess trying to audible and didn't get it away in time.
.6:30 remaining in the first half. It will be 1st and 15, pardon me, from the 26-yard line. Burgess throwing to the sidelines, incomplete. He was looking for Eric Streeter over there. Bob Molly was out in front trying to supply some protection for Tom Burgess, but Tim Lorenz was able to break through and put some pressure on.
And the pressure plus the fact, watch the coverage. Watch Albert Thomas take Eric Streeter. Look at that. Not much separation at all. Really can't throw that football. So again, throw it high. It's not intercepted, but excellent coverage.
An interception by Rod Hill, by the way, gives the Bombers as a team 47 for the year, a single season record in the CFL.
Well, they got 10 against Hamilton, and you know, with Hill, he'll want to play against Hamilton all the time.
Burgess looking into the goal area down around the 5-yard line, and Rick House was unable to take that throw with Gordon all over him.
Right, and again, it was the coverage. Sonny Gordon, he watches Rick House come down the field and turn to the inside, and when that ball was in the air, he just went up and knocked it down. That, again, 2 plays in a row, great defense by the Ticats secondary.
So Trevor Kennard will attempt to put Winnipeg in front by a single point. A field goal attempt of 33 yards. Kick is good. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Gordon, better known as Sonny, moved from a halfback position into that free safety position about 5 games back and has played well there for Hamilton.
Watch the coverage. Watch how he times it. He arrives when the ball arrives. That's a zone defense. You have to do that. You see all those white jerseys. There's not enough people to cover. They're playing zone, but when that ball is thrown, you go to it, and he arrived right at the right time.
1st and 10 from the 35. Michael Gray got a hand on Kerrigan, and he went down. And even though he did get up, the official ruled quite correctly that he was down back at the 28.
He's ruling that. Watch the contact right there. Michael Gray reaches the hand out. Now what he's ruling is that blow right here caused him to fall. Therefore, he is down. And I have to agree. Michael Gray's a good pass rusher. And the rules are put in to protect the quarterback. If they allow him to get up there, somebody hits him, you lose a quarterback. You don't want to do that.
2nd and 17, Hamilton. The toss to Vaughn. Harley was trying to lead him around the corner, but there were too many blue jerseys over there.
There was a heck of a collision, and then I know one thing. Greg Battle was around there. Watch Greg Battle. He's an outstanding defensive performer for this Winnipeg club. They try to run a toss on 2nd and 12. Let's watch Greg Battle. Seek and destroy. All right, Schremeyer doesn't handle him, and when Vaughn turns in, number 34 is waiting on him. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
He ran right out of his shoe and going over there to make the tackle. Paul Osbaldiston stands back at the 17-yard line for this 3rd down kick. Here comes some pressure. He managed to get the kick away. Lee Hall takes it, and he draws a penalty flag again.
No yards. Hamilton number 17. 1st down.
Well, they called Ken Avrere for no yards, but Peter Buchanan was in there as well.
Stand side by side.
So that puts the ball at the Hamilton 43-yard line. 1st and 10, Winnipeg. The Bombers leading the Ticats by a single point. Drop play. Robert Mims picks up about 7. Winnipeg came into this game feeling that they could run against the Hamilton Ticats.
Well, I think the Ticats have given up an awful lot of rushing yards per game this year, and they've given up 158, which average per game, which is the lowest. You know, that's the most yards any team's given up rushing. So if you have a runner like Mims and you've got a team that gives up running yards, you've got to do that or your game plan is not going to function. Today it's working for them.
2nd and 5. Burgess throws complete to Rick House. 1st down, Winnipeg, inside the 30.
You see Giftopoulos talking to Thomas over there. A little breakdown communications, maybe. What they do is go to the zone defense, which means Thomas has the wide receiver short, but he's going to go with him a little bit, and when he turns his back, House runs right into the area that he vacates, and Burgess hits him.
Rick House came into the game as Winnipeg's leading receiver with 60 receptions for 847 yards. Toss inside, that little shovel pass to Robert Mims. He'll get another 1st down.
He fought for his balance all the way down the field, and even coming inside, he started to stumble, but he still was able to leap over a tackler and get it down inside for another first down. A little shovel pass. There it is. Just give it to him. Bob Molly makes the block on Lorenz. Watch him. He's stumbling a little bit right now, but watch this move. Play a little hurdle right over number 8, Albert Thomas, and out of bounds.
Hamilton, number 38. First down.
And tacked on to the shovel pass to Robert Mims is an objectionable conduct call against Darrell Corbin, and it's Winnipeg first and goal from the 8-yard line.
Objectionable conduct. I don't think he got called for that one. I like that. I mean, the players can't talk to officials. Just play the game. Let them, they'll referee.
First and goal, Winnipeg. 4 receivers to the left. That's the way he rolls and then dumps off to Hudson, trying to throw that middle screen, and it produces a gain of 4. 2:51 is the time remaining in the half. It will be Winnipeg's second and goal advantage. And of course, if Winnipeg beats Hamilton today, the Ottawa Rough Riders will finish in 3rd place. Burgess dumps it off, incomplete. On the sidelines looking for a House. There's a penalty flag on the play. It almost looked as though House was out of bounds regardless.
He was working and concentrating so hard to try to stay in bounds that he neglected to catch the football.
Illegal substitution call, apparently.
Illegal participation in a play, number 30, Winnipeg. Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
That was the call. The illegal participation by Rick House, who was out of bounds, came back into the field of play.
Yeah, he can't go out on his own and come back and get in the play, and he was concentrating so hard at trying to stay in bounds that he couldn't hold on to the football. Coming in from outside, managed to get the feet in, but looking down at the sideline, didn't see the ball.
So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers send out the field goal unit, and
ball games, and their offense can play accordingly. They know they don't have to score 35 points to win.
Wally Zatilny takes the ball at the 9-yard line. Penalty flag in the play as Zatilny is brought down by Ken Petway up at the 34. Petway's role this afternoon is the designated import for Winnipeg, and he has been working only on special teams thus far. And on the kickoff return, there's a holding infraction called against Hamilton. On the sidelines, let's bring in Scotto.
Well, Don, as you have mentioned, Don, no one's paying greater attention to this game than the Ottawa Rough Riders. Some of them are at a restaurant across from Lansdowne Park waiting to see if the Bombers will help them into the playoffs, and we'll talk live with some of the Riders on Live at the Half. And Bomber cornerback Les Brown, one of several Winnipeg defensive stars this season, will join us to discuss how a first-place team got itself in something of a...
10 back at the 20-yard line. Michael Vaughn stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Don, go a little further. What we were talking about just a minute ago, this Winnipeg defense, like for example today, Hamilton's got 9 points, but Hamilton themselves have only got 85 yards of total offense and 4 first downs in almost 30 minutes of play. So that shows you the style of game that Winnipeg is able to play because of the strength of this defense.
And if this defense can stop the Ticats on 2nd and 8, the offense is going to get the ball back again in pretty good field position with still 2 minutes remaining in the half. It was intended for Winfield, and there were at least 4 blue jerseys in the area that Kerrigan threw that ball.
He put the 3 receivers to the one side of the field to try to get one-on-one situation, Rod Hill on Winfield. He had that, but Rod Hill also knew this when he went broke to the inside. Watch the linebackers back there to help him out. Watch this. There they are, right underneath him. So he just comes up and knocks the ball out of his hands. But again, a good defensive play. He knows where his help is, and he uses his ability to help that help, if you know what I mean.
I understand.
I'm not sure I do.
Stan Mikowicz came up the middle. Just missed blocking that Paul Osbaldiston punt. Lee Hull takes it at the 46-yard line and gets to the 44. 1:47 is the time remaining.
Well, you talked on they would get good field position. Can't ask for much better than that. 44-yard line, first down, 147 going in. You got a lot of time. You should come out of here with some points.
Stan Mikowicz wearing number 78 rather than his usual 77 because he was forced to remove that jersey. The officials felt he had just a little too much Vaseline on the shoulders early in the opening quarter. The toss to Robert Mims. The ball comes loose and Hamilton is recovered. Peter Giftopoulos.
Good job of blocking. You see Hudson leading, and let's see what happens. As Mims comes inside, Covington hits him. He strips the ball loose. Let's see who gets it. Number 90. Looks like Giftopoulos has got his second today.
First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Champion incomplete. Covered by both Ken Haley and Rod Hill.
So you know, the funny part on that particular play again, is, as you mentioned, Haley's in on the coverage. That is a zone defense where Rod Hill's responsible for deep outside. But again, if you have the confidence and you understand the game, sometimes you can gamble. He gambled and got away with it. You pick your spots. If he does it too many times, he'll get burnt. But the confidence is such a big factor, and he has it.
Hill is lined up against Champion once again. Second and 10. This time the pass goes the other way to Winfield. Has he got it? It's intercepted. Les Brown takes it away from Winfield, and that's his 14th interception of the season.
You know, we talk about the confidence that Rod Hill has, and yet Mike Riley tells us today he feels Les Brown's had the best year he's had in his career. Now, he's got a pretty tough receiver to handle here one-on-one. Look at the coverage. Sure, he's one-on right with him. Ball's up. They both jump. Now it's just who comes down. Rod Hill gets that ball right in, and he lands with it. That's about, you don't cover it any better than that. Excellent one-on-one coverage.
Les Brown now just one interception away from equaling the league record of 15 set by Al Brenner of Hamilton. He'll be talking with Scott Oakham live at the half. Robert Mims, the ball carrier. This Winnipeg team has set a record this year for team interceptions. That's now 48. And Les Brown with 14 and Rod Hill with 12. The two corners have contributed over half of those interceptions.
And that's 11 interceptions for the Bombers just against Hamilton alone this season. So they have, you know, they pick on everybody.
Pass is complete to Rick House for a first down at the 52-yard line with 1:08 remaining in the half.
That's the way you hit the patterns against the zone. Burgess gets back there, and when House makes that turn-in move, he just drills it right between the linebackers, hits him in the numbers. Can't do anything about it.
Eric Streeter takes it on the sidelines for another first down at the 44-yard line.
Get it to Streeter, get those feet down, get out of bounds, stop the clock. He still has a whole minute, and he's back to the 44. He's going to get some separation this time. Remember last time, couldn't get any separation. Watch it here. Got 4 or 5 yards on him. All he has to do is make sure he can catch it, get that foot down. He's in business.
First and 10 Winnipeg at the 44 of Hamilton. The Bombers leading by 4, trying to add to that advantage before the half. Burgess going deep for Winey. He can't make the catch. Sonny Gordon got a hand on that football and may have altered its direction just enough to prevent Winey from making the catch.
Yeah, I thought from here Sonny Gordon was going to intercept it. He had great position. He had one-on-one coverage with Bobby Dawson, and Sonny Gordon comes over to help him. Look at it. He may have just touched it, but if he didn't, he probably blocked the sight of it. I thought Sonny Gordon would intercept it.
55 seconds remaining in the half. Second and 10 Winnipeg. The ball is at the Hamilton 44. Streeter right, Lee Hull to the left. Burgess dumps it off to Robert Mims, and Mims will be stopped a good 2 yards short of a first down with 47 seconds remaining. Winnipeg is calling a time by Trevor Kenner. He has the wind at his back. This kick is long enough. It's good. So with 43 seconds, converted touchdown, 16-9 is the score. Ernie Schreimeyer takes that screen pass, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were ready for it, restricting the gain to about 4 yards.
Well, I kind of thought he might go to a hurry-up offense. 35 seconds left. I think right now he's going to be content to try to kill off this final 30 seconds.
Champion wide right, Winfield to the left. Draw play. Schreimeyer gets the first down up to the 50-yard line.
I think they'd let him have that. To get the ball at a wide receiver, step out of bounds, and save time. I look for Hill and Brown to be watching for that, and they're going to force him to throw it inside where that clock will roll.
Well, Osbaldiston is staying ready just in case they do get it close enough for him to attempt his 4th field goal of the day. Ideally, the Ticats would like to put it into the end zone. Lee Knight makes the catch down to the 33 with 5 seconds remaining. And this is certainly within the field goal range of Paul Osbaldiston.
Yeah, ideal pattern, too. They went to the zone defense. All Lee Knight does is go down, get right in behind those linebackers. Kerrigan hits him for 27 yards. And now, if they kick the field goal, it's only going to be about 40 yards. But watch the linebackers. They're getting deep. Go watch it go over their head. There it is, right into the hole. Knight's waiting on it. They make the tackle.
This will be a 41-yard field goal try for Paul Osbaldiston.
Still don't think it's a gimme.
It's wide. Ken Haley trying to get out of the end zone. He succeeds. And that ends the first half at Winnipeg Stadium. And the score holds at Winnipeg 16, Hamilton 9. Kicking off, Ken Haley and Steve Zatilny are awaiting this Paul Osbaldiston kickoff. Winnipeg leading by 7 points. An indication of the strength of that wind as that ball hangs up there and is taken by Petway at the 33-yard line. And Petway is wrestled down by Ken Abraire up at the 43. Statistically, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had the first half edge, but those 4 turnovers could have really proved to be their undoing in the opening quarter. They were quite fortunate that the best the Ticats could come away with were 3 field goals.
9 rushers, 19 passes. They're not having much success running the football. They may have to abandon it altogether and let Kerrigan go to the short passing game to try to move it that way, because they're not able to make it on the ground.
Winnipeg staying on the ground with Robert Mims following his blocking well, very close to a first down.
Well, that's the way to move it on the ground. You see that hole that Mims threw there, went through on that one? I think anybody could have run through that. That's a great job of blocking on that left side. Steve Rowe, the Huskers, again blocks down. Molly comes around to get the kick out block. And Mims, all he has to do is turn upfield and run. Great distribution. That's about what you'd want. No difference between the wideouts and the slots and the backs on their checkouts and screens and so on. Tough to say, well, we have to stop this. You have to stop everybody.
Robert Mims trying to get the first down, and he succeeds. One of the knocks on Burgess earlier in the year was that he seemed to have a preference for the slot backs and was almost totally ignoring his wideouts.
Then you can't do that. As soon as you get that reputation, you play one-on-one with those wideouts and double the slots, and now you have no one to throw the ball to. But I know we were here for that game when Mike Riley when he talked with us about what he did. He started to go down and work with just throwing to the wideouts, and it's helped Burgess and helped the Bombers.
1st and 10 Winnipeg from the Hamilton 54. Burgess steps up, can't find anyone to throw to, but finding him is Mike Dennis.
It looked like he had room to run. You saw Burgess start to run, but Mark Dennis, 6'2", 236-pound, #1 draft choice. Watch him. Sits in there. So see, Mims is still in the backfield. He's watching Mims. All right, there's Mims. If Mims could have seen him a little quicker and made the block, there was room for Burgess, but that's good reaction, good instinct.
2nd and 10 Winnipeg. Mark Dennis playing that middle linebacking position with Darryl Corbin moved to the outside. Burgess for Rob Creefo for a first down at the 35.
Big target. You know, we talked last night about the size of Christensen in BC at 6'4". Well, Creefo, I think, is 6'6", 19-yard gain. Burgess scrambles to his right. Creefo just finds a hole, but watch the throw. Right on the numbers. Turn upfield, get it, hit the deck.
First and 10 Winnipeg. The ball is at the Hamilton 35-yard line. Winey and Hull both come wide left. Burgess throws the ball intended for Warren Hudson. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. He was under pressure.
He really did. He had that screen off the counter action. He fakes a counter, and he's going to throw that screen to Hudson. And when he makes the fake, as he turns around, here's Sellers right in his face. Too late. Get rid of it. Hits him right in the hands, and Hudson can't hold it.
Get rid of it while falling backwards. Sellers was in his face almost immediately, and obviously Sellers, who was injured early in the ball game, has recovered. Creefo again, no catch. He comes up with the football, claiming that he did grab it, but the official right there ruled that it bounced in front of him. So this will be another field goal attempt by Trevor Kenner.
Well, you got to get the threes. They got a 7-point lead. This can increase it to 10, but they have the wind right now. They come with a delayed blitz. It's late. You see Giftopoulos show up. You see Ramel Andrews there, but Giftopoulos didn't come on the snap. He set back, let the back leave, and then come into that hole to get the pressure late.
Kennard has had a perfect afternoon so far. And the streak continues. First place and an Edmonton win, just the reverse. The Eskimos finish in first place. As you said, Scott, rarely have the Stampeders beaten the Eskimos in key games in the last few years. Kerrigan goes down. Mike Ray was among the first to make contact, and Albert Williams came in to help out.
Managed to escape the first one. Goes to his right, escapes it, but when he steps up, there's nowhere to go. A lot of blue jerseys. Here comes the pressure. Set in the pocket. There it is. Mikolas chases him out. No one open. Pressure comes. Duck the head. 3 of them converge, and it's second down and long.
And Hamilton has not had success today on second down conversions. Only once in 15 tries have they done it, and they fail again. Winfield was the intended receiver.
Thought for a minute it was going to be intercepted, but Winfield cut in front almost. Yeah, I think in reality he should have come up with this catch. Goes right off his hands, had both hands on the football. You need to make those catches. Your big games, your big stars, your so-called leaders got to come to the front. You got to make that catch.
Paul Osbaldiston will be punting into that stiff wind. Streeter and Hull are waiting for it. They are only about 30 yards upfield. Osbaldiston gets away a pretty good kick that is taken by Streeter at the 40-yard line. Good hit by Mark Dennis. He leveled him. Mark Dennis out of Central Michigan, 6'2", 236 pounds. He was just sitting idle for a number of days after being released by the New York Giants.
Waiting on a phone call, you know. You wait forever on that, but meanwhile, you're missing paychecks.
Streeter makes the catch. And it's another Winnipeg first down, and there's also a penalty flag. I think that there is going to be a roughing the passer call against Dan Sellers.
You know, early on, we talked about timing between the quarterback and receiver. You don't get it any better than this. When Burgess threw the football,
Danger foul, roughing the passer, him at number 37, first down.
Streeter's still running upfield. Burgess takes the hit from Sellers. The referee's right there. The ball is thrown. You don't hit the quarterback. But go back to that timing. The timing was excellent. When Streeter finally separated from Thomas and turned to the outside, that ball was 3/4 of the way there. All he has to do is catch it and run.
At the 27, it's first and 10, Winnipeg. That shovel pass inside to Robert Mims. This time it doesn't work nearly as well as it did the previous time the Bombers ran it. Ramel Andrews was there to bring down Robert Mims. Mike Riley was telling us that he feels Ramel Andrews is playing better football since returning to the CFL and the Hamilton Ticats than he did when he was with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a year ago.
That he feels that the improvement has come in the pass rush department. He felt he was always good against the run, but he said now he's an excellent pass rusher. He's got 7 quarterback sacks, tied with Covington coming in for the league lead, and he's only played about 7 games.
Lee Hull couldn't make the catch, and one of the reasons he couldn't make the catch, he had Wilkerson all over him.
You saw Tom Burgess upset with himself. And that receiver, you get that one-on-one coverage, you want that ball inside where he can catch it, throw it behind him.
Todd Dillon warming up, an indication perhaps that we are going to witness a quarterbacking change with the Hamilton Ticats. 9:03 is the time remaining in this third quarter. Trevor Kenner trying to go 5 for 5 in the field goal department. This will be a 32-yard attempt. It's good. Eastern semifinal next Sunday afternoon. It all begins at 1:30 Eastern time. Winfield takes the Trevor Kennard kickoff and brings it all the way back to the 49-yard line. And it is going to be Todd Dillon taking over at quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A 34-yard kickoff return by Earl Winfield.
Well, trailing 22-9, they need to get something going to show some signs that that offense is coming to life. Now, Mike Kerrigan didn't seem to get it done. Maybe Todd with the change of pace, a little different style, a little more movement, but he wants to be ready for the next one, too.
A missed field goal by Ray McAreedy has produced the lone Edmonton point. In the first quarter, the Stampeders lead the Eskimos 7-1 with first place on the line at McMahon Stadium. Todd Dillon trying to get the Hamilton Ticats into third place in the East. Ken Haley made a dive at that throw. It was well over the head of the intended receivers.
Well, as we said, he's a change of pace quarterback. First play he runs, he shows bootleg action. Play action to the back, try to roll back into the sidelines, but when he started to roll, there was number 78, Stan Mikolas. He forced him to pull up and throw it quick, and he overthrew the receiver.
All 3 quarterbacks we have seen today have a statistic they're not happy with: more interceptions than touchdown throws.
No, I don't. Not many quarterbacks are happy with that. That's not high on their priority list.
Well over the head of Winfield, so it's 2 and out for Todd Dillon and the Hamilton Ticats with 8:05 remaining in the third quarter.
We've had a lot of that 2 and out today. They have not been able to convert their second down situations. Therefore, you cannot maintain ball control.
I believe they're now 1 of 17 in second down conversions.
Well, that tells the story right there. If you get 17 times on second down to make a first down, you only do it once. Either your offense is not playing very well or that other defense is tough, and it's probably a combination of both, but it's not good enough to win football games.
Since scoring 9 first quarter points, the Ticats only once have penetrated the Winnipeg half of the field. Time count violation against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Violation, Hamilton number 3.
That takes the ball back to the 44-yard line.
There had to be just confusion, you know, because they got 12 men out there. It wasn't they were 1 short or anything.
Here comes that pressure up the middle, but they don't get there, and the ball bounces to Lee Hull. Having some problems fielding it, and as soon as he does pick it up, he is hit almost the final. 7:22, the time remaining in this third quarter as Robert Mims tries to spin his way through and is stopped by Tim Lorenz. Picked up about a yard. It will be 2nd and 9, Winnipeg. Winnipeg leading by a score of 22-9. Bombers 3 weeks ago clinched first place in the East. Burgess is caught from behind. A good diving tackle by Dan Sellers.
You know how the game of inches, like you say, a great diving tackle by Dan Sellers, but almost a great saving block by Chris Walby. As Burgess gets away from Grover Covington and starts to scramble to his right, you could see Sellers coming. Walby saw him at the last minute. He just wasn't able to get him, and he trips him up. Get a good look at it. They got a little bit of pressure coming. The linebackers are up there. All right, there's Covington. He shrugs him off, but watch this. Here comes Sellers in the back, but watch Chris Walby come in and try to get him right there. He just can't get him quick enough. Game of inches. You know, if he gets there that much quicker, Burgess may have a chance to do something with the ball.
Bob Cameron is kicking from the end zone. Zatilny back at the 52-yard line. And good downfield tackle. They like to shine, and Michael Allen did that right there.
You know, Don, the thing, what you're talking about is very simple. Everybody has a role to play on a club. You know, you have starting receivers, you have guys go into their injuries, you have guys that cover kicks, but everybody has to do their job. That's why they call it a team game, and when they do it, it helps everybody.
Todd Dillon's under pressure from Ty Jones, gets away, throws the pass for Rocky DiPietro. He can't catch up with it.
Seems like this Bomber defense has that Hamilton Tiger Cat offense a little bit confused. They seem to be getting somebody into the quarterback's face on every pass.
5:40 the time remaining in the third quarter. Winnipeg in front, 22-9.
Oh, he was open. Buzz was open.
The mascot had more of a chance to catch that throw than did Rocky DiPietro. Dillon is being chased again. Throws back and completes the pass to Lee Knight for a Hamilton first down.
That's just an example of everybody doing their job right there as well as you can, and the results it catch. Dillon gets outside. He gets a little bit of time to throw it. Darrell Sampson has excellent coverage on Lee Knight, but he just reaches up and pulls it in.
First and 10 Hamilton. The ball is at the Winnipeg 38-yard line. Dillon to Lee Knight again. Bounced out of bounds at the 29. Or pardon me, at the 34. Les Brown is being taken off to the Bomber dressing room. Obviously finished for the day. Winnipeg Blue Bombers are hoping that he isn't finished for the season.
You saw him cutting that tape off of his foot and his ankle. You knew he was finished for the day. Now they're just going to have to diagnose it and see just what is the problem.
Second and 6. Dillon escapes the pressure. Will he run for a first down? No. Ken Haley came up to put a hit on him in the vicinity of the 30-yard line. The Premier of the province of Manitoba, Gary Philman, watching today's football game. He's an avid sports fan. A regular at Winnipeg Jet games and also at Winnipeg Blue Bomber games.
Yeah, we were one time I saw a little feature on television about him. He looked like he liked to play a little basketball with his kids outside too. Is he a golfer?
He plays golf. Plays pretty well. So on third and a little better than 2 yards, Paul Osbaldiston will be attempting a 38-yard field goal. And this one just makes it. It hung up in the wind, but there was just enough behind that Paul Osbaldiston kick to carry it over the crossbar. 3:51 remains in the third quarter. Ticats now trailing by 10 points as Paul Osbaldiston prepares to kick off. The Ticats will have the advantage of that wind heading home. Ken Haley's kickoff return is stopped at the 38-yard line. Winnipeg sends out its offensive unit, and we go down to the sidelines to Scott Oak.
Well, Don, in Calgary, the Stampeders certainly have the jump on the Eskimos now in their first play showdown. Watch this play. Danny Barrett at quarterback for the Stampeders to Alan Pitts. He makes the catch. It's a major score. And the Stampeders lead the Eskimos now 14-1.
A big edge early in the ball game for Calgary. Lee Hull makes the catch, working against Wilkerson, trying to turn it into a first down. He appears to be stopped about a yard, maybe a half yard short.
We've been watching for this sort of attack, you know, talking to the Bomber coaches, and particularly Mike Riley. Said we're going to throw a lot of those stops, quicks outside because of the style of defense Hamilton plays. We may be able to get it in their hands quick and let them run, and right away we come back to it.
They're going to measure to determine whether or not it is. You always talk about a team liking to have the wind heading home in the fourth quarter. The Ticats will have that wind advantage.
I always believe that when you're going home with the wind at your back, you know what you have to do. You're either going to throw it to get into the game, or you're going to try to run it to use up the clock and force that other team. But you can dictate the game then.
Pass is complete for a first down to Warren Hudson. And Hudson carries into the Hamilton 43-yard line.
Excellent play by the Bombers on second and short, but a great defensive play by Mark Dennis. They get the big man, who's usually their blocker, out in the flat, and he breaks a tackle. But watch who comes back to make the tackle, the middle linebacker, that man, Mark Dennis, who has to fill for the run. So he stepped up, played the run, read pass, and came back and helped. Good play.
Winnipeg with a big edge in first downs, 18-8. They have it first and 10 at the 43-yard line. Hudson again, another Winnipeg first down. You know, in the all-star ballots, they talk about two running backs. Most teams employ one running back and a blocking back. That usually prevents an individual such as Warren Hudson from getting any all-star recognition, but he has had an all-star type of season in that blocking back position for Winnipeg.
Yeah, you know, I thought of him as a blocking back when he was with the Argos. I don't consider him a blocking back anymore. He's an excellent runner. We've seen him run the ball very well at times. Good pass receiver. I just think he's a good football player, and that's tough when you have to block all the time.
Lee Hull was the man that Burgess was looking for.
You know, coming into today's game, Warren Hudson had caught 50 passes. That's a little more than a blocking back.
But primarily when they acquired Hudson, that's what they wanted him for, was a blocking back.
Well, you know what? They never saw him do anything else in there, and they needed somebody to come in here that had the size, and at 225 pounds, he certainly has that. But I think he got here and surprised them. They found out that he can do just about anything they want.
Second and 10, sideline pattern for Streeter. He makes the catch and takes it out of bounds for another Winnipeg first down.
Well, again, great timing on the throw for Burgess. Just when Streeter plants that left foot, his inside foot to come to the outside, that ball is on its way. And there's not much a corner anybody can do about that. When you have that good of timing between the quarterback and the receiver, that's all that Thomas can do. Be there to make the hit. Don't allow him to get any extra yards. But good offense.
1:30 is the time remaining. Streeter has scored the game's only touchdown. That came in the opening quarter. First and 10, Winnipeg. The ball is at the 18. Burgess steps up, decides he'll have to run it, and gets inside the 15.
Made a good choice. He was expecting man-to-man coverage down close to the goal line. Hamilton fooled him, dropped it into the zone. So when he went to throw the ball, he had a linebacker in his view, pull it down and run.
When he was playing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Burgess made a living against man-to-man coverage.
Loved it. I mean, because he can, one-on-one, he can throw the ball away from the defender. So what his problem was working against his zone, trying to force things. Now he's a more complete quarterback because he's learned how to do that.
Second and 7. From the 15, Burgess is going to throw it in the end zone for Winey. It bounces off his chest. And again, I think it may have been deflected that time by Bobby Dawson.
It either bounced off his chest or his head. That ball went right through number 27, Bobby Dawson's hands, and Winey just couldn't squeeze it. Let's see where it does go. Number 27 jumps up right in front of him, right through his hands. I don't know what it hit, but it didn't end up in anybody's hand. Lay it out. Sellers gets blocked into Burgess. We saw the blue jersey block him, and he just kind of rolled into him.
Trevor Kennard's field goal attempt, and he is 6 for 6. Zatilny takes it at the 15-yard line. He's heading for the wide side of the field. He won't get there. Penalty flag on the play as well.
That was a great effort by Greg Battle to make that tackle. I don't know what all the other flags were for, but it was a great effort by him.
Battle is complaining loudly to the officials about something. There were penalty flags in the play.
It's true.
George Black, the referee today, is number 58.
Holding, Hamilton number 17. Objectionable conduct, Hamilton number 21. First down.
Threw the football at him. You can't do that. You know, there is a word called discipline. All right, let's watch it. Michael Allen coming down, get in. All right, you see he's tackled. That's holding. You can't do that. But when you throw the football in a guy's face, there's a word called discipline. And there it is. He gets up. Can't do that. You know, it was a great play by Battle just to make that tackle.
Our isolation director, Mo Waters, picking up both those plays. And Schraumeyer, takers today when we talked with him, was what he is going to do with his team getting ready for that Eastern final. How many days off he would give them before returning to practice. Penalty flag in the play. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. I think this is going to be offensive interference against Tony Champion. He pushed off of Rod Hill.
Well, you had the ideal defense to throw a deep post. No middle safety. You just take your pick. You got Champion on one side and you got Winfield coming from the other. Rod Hill had great coverage on him, and that's why Champion had to push him to get the ball. Look at the position that number 10 has. Champion has to push him out of the way. And I think Tony knew it right here, because, I mean, he didn't even try to run. He knew what he did.
So what could have been a big gain for the Hamilton Tiger Cats results in a loss, and penalty being marched off now.
Forward pass interference, Hamilton number 87. First down repeated.
Trevor Kennard, who is 6 for 6 today, now has 43 field goals on the season. That matches his best year ever in the field goal department, 43 back in 1980. First and 20, Hamilton. The Ticats back at their own 13-yard line. Dillon was looking upfield for Rocky DiPietro. He was in the clear, but the ball was thrown well short.
I think
the veteran slot back.
I really think he's trying to throw that ball to Earl Winfield, who was in heavy traffic, and overthrew him. Had he thrown to DiPietro, you hit it right on the head. He was wide open downfield, but he couldn't see him.
Statistically, the Blue Bombers have a big advantage, except in that category near the bottom, turnovers, and it was those turnovers in the opening quarter that produced 9 of Hamilton's 12 points. Second and 20. Winfield was the man that Dillon was looking for this time, no question about that, and Rod Hill had excellent coverage on him once again.
Like a blanket. Set right on his inside. If the ball's thrown anywhere near Earl Winfield to catch, Rod Hill has as good a shot at it as he does. But what happens, it's overthrown, so nobody gets it. Excellent coverage. I'm not sure, but I don't think Les Brown's in the game, is he?
Les Brown has gone to the dressing room. Ken Petway has moved into that corner position.
I think I'd be giving Petway a workout and leaving number 10 alone.
As Baldiston kicking from the end zone. Streeter takes it at his own 50-yard line. He doesn't want to go that way because he's in big trouble. Ken of Rare finished off the job. 10 Winnipeg from the 37. Burgess is looking to the sidelines for Rick House. There's also a penalty flag on the play. That was in the Winnipeg backfield. This could be a holding call against the Blue Bombers.
So that's 10 more yards it's going to cost them. Even though it's going to be 2nd and 10, I think you take this 10 yards, put them in that 1st and 20. You need field position, and you need a big play from your defense.
Major foul, face mask, Winnipeg number 64, 2nd down.
Face mask call against Bob Molly.
You see him right here, number 64, the left guard blocking on Tim Lorenz. Lorenz, number 64, trying to get by him. You see that right hand. He's got him by the face mask, and that's what the referee noticed, and that's why he threw the flag, and that cost him 15 yards. So it's 1st and 25 in field position right now. Hamilton's getting a break in the last 2 plays.
The Bombers back at their own 22-yard line. Remember, that punt that Streeter fielded was up at the 50-yard line. Robert Mims, the ball carrier. And Mims picked up about 3 yards, not much more. As you saw, the score in the game at McMahon Stadium in Calgary now 14-4. The Stampeders leading the Eskimos. First place on the line in that battle between the 2 Alberta rivals.
Who's a defensive back at 5'11" and 210 pounds. He is a hitter. They stopped it for just about no gain. So this is a big play here. They can get great field position on the exchange.
Tilney waits for Cameron's punt. Tyrone Jones was through quickly. Field on the receiving end of the throw. He gets the 1st down as he gets away from Petway. As we mentioned, Petway is playing that corner in place of the injured Les Brown.
Well, you get him one-on-one, and Winfield just runs that stop. Just run down the field, get the ball in his hands. Right now, look at the cushion. Now, you got a lot of room to get outside, and Petway makes him hold up a second, but he doesn't bring him down. Winfield keeps his feet. He gets a few more yards.
You look upon this as a key series of downs right here for Hamilton.
This is it. I think they need to score this series. You know, they've done nothing offensively for 3 quarters, but they, you know, you mentioned, I look at it, they're only 14 down with 12 minutes, but they need a touchdown in this drive, and then things are going to get hectic.
Schremeyer, the ball carrier, picking up 3 yards at 2nd and 7. Mike Kerrigan started the ball game. He gave way to Todd Dillon late in the 3rd quarter. And Todd Dillon is directing the attack. 2nd and 7. Pass complete to Champion. Rod Hill on top of Champion immediately. He will not get the 1st down.
What happens on this is the Bombers again fool the Ticats. Bavell is way up close to the line of scrimmage. They anticipate a safety blitz, so Champion cuts his pattern down, but he cuts it down so short that when Rod Hill comes up and makes his hit, he really only gained about 3 yards on that completed pass. Good defense by Hill, but good disguising of the defense by the Bombers.
And the Ticats are gambling on 3rd down. Dillon completes the pass to Lee Knight. He should have the 1st down. He's tackled by Darrell Sampson, but he extended himself and now is complaining to the official about where the ball is being spotted.
It's very, very close.
Gamble pays off for the Ticats. David Beckman's team has had problems in converting 2nd down plays, but they come up with a very key 3rd down conversion.
Did a wise thing. Only needed 5 yards. Bring Lee Knight underneath where you got a chance to get that ball in his hands.
Todd Dillon gets away from the pressure of Albert Williams and then is decked at the 38.
It's only a 4-man rush. Todd Dillon didn't have anywhere to throw the football. Here comes Williams, 72, almost sacks him. Todd Dillon runs into his own man as he tries to make this move. He runs into Mike Dirks. He gets knocked to the ground, but picked up only 1 yard for all that effort.
He escaped Albert Williams, but Quincy Williams was there. Dillon can't find a receiver, tries to come back across the field, looking for Vaughn. It's incomplete. The first time the teams met on the 15th of August at Ivor Wynne Stadium, Hamilton won by a score of 10, and in Winnipeg on the 9th of September, as we mentioned earlier in the telecast, Rod Hill had those 5 interceptions as Winnipeg won 29-18. 25-12 the scoreboard reads at the moment with 9:35 remaining in the ball game, and Paul Osbaldiston will be attempting His 5th field goal of the day from 45 yards out. Actually his 6th, but this is the 5th one that has been good. The difference on the scoreboard here at Winnipeg Stadium. There's also a 10-point spread at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. The Stampeders leading the Eskimos 15-5 in the battle for first place in the West. Little swing pass to Robert Mims. And he is stopped at the 40-yard line for a pickup of 5. It will be 2nd and 5 Winnipeg.
That field goal by Osbaldiston, good call. They got at the field goal range. They still need 2 possessions, touchdown and a field goal. But we saw Osbaldiston kick one from 57, so we know he can do that. But they need to stop Bombers, and the Bombers need to put together a big drive to take some time off that clock.
Second down pass to the sidelines, complete to Ken Winey, and that is a Winnipeg first down.
That's what you think about if you're a Winnipeg coach or quarterback. You're looking at, we need to just put some first downs together. If we get points, great, but we need to take some time off that clock, and in order to do that, you have to convert those second down situations.
Mike Riley said he did not consider this a must game, but felt it was very important psychologically for Winnipeg to win this game going into the playoffs. 1st and 10 Winnipeg from the 46. The fake to Mims. The pass is complete to Warren Hudson. That will be close to another Winnipeg first down.
Man-to-man coverage came with the blitz. The quarterback, in this case Burgess, really is selling out that run. I mean, a good fake. He's turning his head and everything. And then when he's turning to throw this screen, again, this time he's got Mark Dennis right in his face. He throws it quick, takes the hit, but Hudson is open, and he gets that first down.
The ball is at the Hamilton 53. 7:44 the time remaining. Swing pass to Robert Mims. Mims ran into his blocker, David Black.
They were doing a little dance there, you know. I'll go right, you go left.
Black trying to figure out which way Mims was going. Mims trying to figure out what Black was going to do.
He still ended up with a 4-yard gain. Just that little quick screen. You see David Black taking off out underneath his lineman to block for him. He gets inside of the corner, but now he has nowhere to go because David Black's in the way.
Winnipeg 2nd and 6. Burgess is going to run for a first down, sliding into the 40-yard line.
This is what Mike Riley wanted from Burgess today. Like he's told us and you mentioned earlier, he'll go as long as he can to get in a groove, you know, to be prepared for that next Eastern final. This is what he wants. Move the ball against the wind. Doesn't do it passing this time. Straight up the middle. He sees trouble coming. He knows he's got the first down. Slide.
Winnipeg with a big edge in first downs, but another key statistic is the number of second down conversions Winnipeg has made compared to the Ticats.
That's always a big statistic in a football game, is conversion of those second down situations.
Robert Mims running and getting another Winnipeg first down inside the 30-yard line. And for the Hamilton Ticats, apart from the fact that Winnipeg is moving closer to scoring position, is that they're taking a lot of time off the clock with this drive.
Well, up inside just because of running with his eyes. He saw that hole open and he took it.
1st and 10 Winnipeg, the ball just inside the 30-yard line, 5:40 remaining in the ball game. Burgess to Robert Mims, and Mims is stopped after a gain of 5. Corbin and Walby have an exchange of words after the play had been whistled dead. Bob Molly also gets involved.
Somewhere in the vicinity. There's not many out there that's going to be as big as him. But you know, there's something about defensive people. They don't know. They don't care. They're pretty tough guys themselves.
They don't recognize size.
No, they're tough. I just figured no one's going to get hurt in a fight anyway.
Burgess throwing to the end zone for Streeter. Touchdown!
Ideal drive. Took 4 minutes off the clock and scored a touchdown. I think it's about all she wrote. Now, this is great coverage by Albert Thomas. There's nothing wrong with the coverage. But watch Streeter now. Thomas will have his back turned to the football. Streeter sees it all the way. So all he does, let him go by, step in front and catch it. Good coverage, but you got to locate it, because if you don't, Streeter will, and he did.
The second touchdown of the game for Eric Streeter. He's the only player who has been able to put it into the end zone. He now has 12 for the season. Trevor Kennard with the point after. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have opened up a 17-point lead. So the has to be really pleased about is the touchdown drive that Tom Burgess put together. 8 plays, 75 yards, consuming 448. Similar to the first touchdown drive of the ball game, and both touchdowns against the wind.
It's kind of strange, you know, you always think you score with the wind. Not necessarily. You concentrate a little better sometimes against the wind, and those two drives have been great.
Wally Zatilny on this return stopped at the 40-yard line, and that's where Hamilton will scrimmage.
And the game in his uniform, and will finish it in street clothes, the result of a fairly serious sprain of his right ankle. And I guess the big question is now, can you be ready for the East Final in 2 weeks?
Oh, I believe so. I've turned my ankle over many a times, and I got hit in the side, it got turned over, got stuck in the turf, and it's just a bit sore to run on and everything. I got up, thought that I'd be able to finish the rest of the game, maybe get that 15th interception, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, it's an important 2 weeks of rehabilitation for you, Les.
Yeah, it is. Basically, I'm glad that we have that bye right now, and it's going to help us a lot.
Yeah, the bye is worth it in your case. Thanks,
Yeah,
Les, and good luck in getting back.
Thanks.
Don?
Rocky DiPietro on the receiving end of the throw, giving Hamilton a first down up to the 53-yard line.
I look down below, see Danny McManus warming up. I think that's a good move, too. Burgess has played very well. I think you need to get McManus some playing time today, because he may be needed later.
Winfield makes the catch. He's caught. The ball is loose, and Vaughn recovers. Tyrone Jones brought down Winfield, knocking the ball loose, but Vaughn managed to recover for another Hamilton first down, but there's also a penalty flag and a legal...
Mike Riley's making right now. Burgess has played well.
Wally Zatilny was underthrown on the far side of the field. It will be 2nd and 15. Let's bring in Scott.
Don, in Edmonton, or I should say in Calgary, the Eskimos are closing the gap on the Stampeders. Blake Marshall's 12th touchdown of the season for the Eskimos has pulled them to within 3 points. This in the second quarter of play. It is 15-12 Calgary now. Don?
Certainly much closer at McMahon Stadium than it is here, with Winnipeg leading 32-15. Todd Dillon throws for Zatilny. He had to reach back for that football. It will be 3rd and 15. 26,528 watching the action today at Winnipeg Stadium.
Zatilny goes deep enough, but now he comes back to get away from the coverage. And even if he catches his football, he's going to be about 6 yards short. Now, the only difference was, I think on 6 yards, they would have gone after it. But now on 3rd down and about 15, they're going to punt the football. I would say if they have any kind of a fake in their bag, we better see it now, because this is their last chance.
No, they are going to kick it. Lee Hull gets to the outside, gets a couple of blocks, and runs it out of bounds at the Hamilton bench at the 39th Grey Cup. All the activity beginning on CBC television at 4 Eastern Time. Penalty flag on the play as Robert Mims carries for about 3 yards. One of the major problems the Ticats have now.
What's up, man? You didn't think we was gonna lose no ball game, so you guys can get in there, right? We gonna get hold of y'all too, Goldman, you too, and you know me, Damon. I want you, baby. We'll see y'all again if you get past Toronto. Sorry, man. See you later.
I'll tell you what, now he got it all in. I don't know, did he miss
That was a
anybody?
rehearsed speech.
It had to be. You can't think that quick.
Tyrone Jones never at a loss for words.
I was just thinking, too. We'll talk about it after this play.
Penalty against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's 1st and 5. Robert Mims still on his feet. He was a tough man to bring down on that play. Dan Sellers made the tackle. Sellers has played a very strong game today for Hamilton.
Yeah, he sure has. He's up there on that line of scrimmage, and, you know, he's played everywhere. Defensive back, linebacker. Now he's a rush end, and he's had a tough day. He don't have the size, really, to fight with a guy like Chris Walby, so it's a struggle every time out for him.
Danny McManus directing the attack for Winnipeg on 2nd and 3. He tosses to Robert Mims. There's another penalty flag on the play. This hassle involves Darryl Corbin and David Black, and then Chris Walby came in and really flattened Corbin. That was the result of an earlier altercation. And you hate to see this at the end of the ball game.
They have to go.
The dressing room. 2:24, all the time that remains in the 1990 season for the Hamilton Ticats. Streeter takes the McManus throw for a first down at the 45-yard line.
That was a great throw. That pass right here shows you the strength of Danny McManus's arm. You know, we've done a lot of their games this year, and they keep talking about the arm strength. When you throw that ball behind the corner into that dead area in a zone, you've got to get it there in a hurry. Watch it. Bang. He gets it there before the safety man, in that case Stephon Jordan, can get over there to help. That's an excellent throw.
2:07 remaining. 1st and 10, Winnipeg. The ball is at the 46-yard line. Coach Riley was hoping to get McManus some playing time today, but he was more concerned with Burgess playing well. Burgess did his job.
Maybe they'll play football. 1:52 left.
2nd and 8. The ball is at the 44 of Hamilton. Deep for Streeter. He can't make the catch. Even had he hauled in that McManus throw, he would have been out of bounds.
You want to put a little bit of air under the ball, but when you throw the ball against the wind and put it up, it's just going to stay there. Almost came down wet. There it is. Thomas covering Streeter. Tries to bounce outside, just lays it up high. Came up too short. As you say, he'd have been out of bounds anyway.
1:30 is the time remaining. And the Bombers are going after it on 3rd and 8. Ken Winey makes the catch for a first down at the 29-yard line.
Does throw the football. Nice, strong delivery. Watch him get set, looks to his left. Watch that ball. Nice high. Winey being a 7'3" high jumper, I guess you can throw it up there for him.
1st and 10, Winnipeg. The ball is at the 29-yard line. Robert Mims inside, and he's pushed back, taking the clock down to 1:04. The time remains.
It's Sunday now. If there's any incentive to get ready, that's all you have to do is look at those game films.
McManus going to throw it deep again. Nobody anywhere near the football. Streeter was the receiver in the area, but it was well over his head with 44 seconds remaining.
You know, and the one thing about the game in Toronto next week.
On 3rd down, McManus overthrows Ken Winey, and with 39 seconds remaining, the Hamilton Tiger Cats will take over on downs.
In that first place battle between the Eskimos and the Stampeders, it's 16-12 Calgary late in the 2nd quarter right now, but Eskimo quarterback Tracy Ham has been taking a beating in this game. He was shaken up on this play. You can see his legs buckled under him. For the 2nd time, he was helped up and off the field, but we understand he's walking it off right now and should be able to continue.
No one ever said it was easy. You got to expect that this time of year. I mean, there's a lot on the line. Take your beating of what to do. You know, you need to let them rest, but you don't want to give them a lot of time off. You got to keep them in that football frame of mind.
Todd Dillon throwing deep for Zatilny. Knocked away by Rod Hill. And both Rod Hill and Zatilny are
interceptions and the way they play on those corners at their respective sides. Let's see what happens. Just kind of trips, tries to miss them. And you see that right arm going out, and it's that right shoulder that he was favoring.
Todd Dillon trying